Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Eastern Sun. I'm here having just cleared out the Halls of the Dead level 2 recently. Last episode we did that. I talked a little bit about my Holy Fire build, what I like about it, and what the benefits are, and what sort of is the bad things about it. Um, and currently I realized, or I just I just remembered that I forgot to say what I actually put in it to make it viable. So we're going to illustrate that in just a second. I'm just going to see what rune I got. Alright, so I do not understand what these ancient decals are. It says ku, then arrow ith, so I'm supposing it's like a rune that you can convert or something like that. I don't know. Also, I realized that in my last video I made a mistake. I didn't go to the potion guy, so that's why I couldn't buy potions.
Good day.
It's this guy, and he does sell stamina potions, so there you go, derp. It's, yeah, it's brilliant. But anyway, we're just gonna deposit a lot of our gold, and we're gonna carry on. Just clear out the... I just want to identify some stuff as well, and I want to...
Stay a while.
So much to do in this bloody game, you know? Not in a bad way, it's just so much to do. You always have something to look forward to doing. Like, I want to do that. Oh, but I want to do that. What if I do this? It's like, it's awesome. It keeps you focused. It keeps you concentrated. It keeps you doing something. That's why it's so forgiving to do commentary about this, and it's so fun to do. Because, say I'm playing fucking Spelunky or something. No disregard to Spelunky. I like that game. But commenting it feels boring to me, you know? Because you're sitting there and it's like, yeah, well, we've got to watch out for these, and like you sit and talk about your mistakes a lot. You don't iterate anything new. You don't iterate anything exciting. It's just, most of the times, like I watch a lot of Let's Plays, and most of the times it just ends up being like the kind of thing that you don't watch actively. You just slow watch it. Like there are some content that is more active than others, and Spelunky to me is just not that active, you know? It doesn't feel that active. It's another thing if we have like someone doing a speed run and talking about timings to avoid a ghost and stuff like that, but hell, still, you get my point. Yeah, and I wanted to show my build. I'm just cleaning up here so I don't get killed while doing it, because I don't think these will stop trying to kill me. So there we go. Because you've noticed that I only have a normal attack and Holy Fire, so it seems so strange, but I'll explain why this is in a second. Here we go. So first off, we got Holy Fire, of course. We maxed out Holy Fire to get the most passive damage of the fire damage and fire damage on our attacks. You can see here that we have a pretty solid attack damage and a pretty solid Holy Fire damage. Most of my damage is actually the Holy Fire. It's not the fire damage for weapons. You'll see that more on bosses, more on heavy mobs. Otherwise, it's just aura, because the aura is enough to kill stuff. It ticks often, and unless they're fire resistant, which not a lot of mobs are specifically, or fire immune, then they simply die from it. So we got that going for us. And you see that I have nothing in combat skills. I have no attack modifiers there, and I've just maxed out protection from fire, because as you can see on Holy Fire, we get 12% fire damage from each protection of fire that we have. So this is essentially my build of just going, you know what, I'm just going full out nuts on this. I don't care. I just want to be able to do this. I just want to be able to rush, go in, AoE stuff, clean out stuff without having a second thought about it, and just focus on surviving. Because currently that was a big issue in the what's it called, in the Zeal build. Like you couldn't always focus on the correct things. You couldn't focus on doing a proper job of killing or whatever, because a lot of the time you just stand there and clicking like just bashing stuff and missing almost everything, or not missing but putting yourself at a very high risk, because you're there, you're hitting, and if you don't have a lot of lifesteal, well, guess what, something that hits hard can kill you, especially spells and slows, because Zeal, that's like the bane of Zeal, attack speed loss, because that's the whole concept of Zeal. Like, you attack a lot and fast. That's everything you do. So we're entering Far Oasis, doing good progress. We got a tail, a crafting material, but we're doing good progress, and we're coming towards, what part is it? Maggot Lair. Actually, I've changed my opinion on the Maggot Lair a little bit. given that I have this build now, I don't fear it as much because I'm pretty confident with this build that it will be pretty easy, given that I can AoE stuff and that it doesn't trigger the lightning. If it had triggered the lightning, I would have been fucked. But I've met lightning beetles now and they don't trigger the lightning, so thank you for that game. You've heard my prayers. Thank you very much. That's really good news for me. That's brilliant. That's going to work really well. Because Zeal would also do that. That's also another bad thing with Zeal. That Zeal procs things when you hit it. So say you're in melee with a mob that has lightning. Say it's a lightning beetle. What do I know? You hate lightning beetles and you just want to crush them all. Like any sane person. But let's say you're fighting a lightning beetle and you have Zeal and you just stand there and tank, you know? You just stand and you mash and you Zeal it, and you know, probabilities are if you don't have a high lightning resist, you're gonna die. You know, it's just a high probability that you are going to take a lot of fucking damage from it. You are going to fucking die from it. It's hard to justify that, you know? It's hard to justify that if you have skill resets. It's hard to justify if you don't have a high lightning resist and if you don't feel like gimping your build actively just to have something really work. Like, I'm not disrespecting lightning and Zeal people. Definitely not, but I'm saying that if you want to be able to do such a build, you need to have the required things. And in normal, when you're just running through the first time, the probability of you having a lot of the things that allow you to make a specific build does not exist. Oh, megatons instantly. There we go. Let's see if my words ring true or if it's all lies. Was that blue arrows? Evidently arrows can be blue now. I didn't know that. Huh. I wonder what they do. I'm gonna identify them. Just shits and giggles. Replenishes quantity and plus 25% damage to undead. Holy shit, that's really good if you want to go bows. So I didn't know that. That's really awesome. You can make it like so you could go specific arrows for specific things like undead. Gives a lot more character to being a ranger in my opinion, because then it's like you're specified, like you specialized in killing one target, you specialized in taking them out, you're an undead slayer or something like that, which I think is awesome. I think that is a really awesome thing. I didn't even know that existed, so yeah, we're coming up against these motherfuckers. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, that being in these early difficulties, you don't necessarily have, like, if it's your first character, your first run through, the probability of you having everything allowing something for a specific build when things get difficult is not that high. I'm sorry to say, but it's just not probable, you know? It just won't happen. I mean, it's not like you sit with all the lifesteal gear in the world, which is rolling a new alt. Unless you're really lucky or you farm that, but still, I mean, it's just hard to justify certain builds, and I'm sorry to say that for people who like Zeal, for example, but I just can't do it at this current level, and I probably won't do it later on either. Because I mean, let's get real. Let's get real about Zeal. Let's get real about Zeal and get to the deal. Yeah, rhymes. Nah, but thing is, like, it's hard to justify. It's hard to say. I mean, I like Zeal. I loved Zeal before, but it's hard to justify without having certain requirements, without having certain things. You can't say, well, this is possible, this is something I can imagine doing. No! You might like doing that, but it does not work unless you have the correct things. And that's something you can never get really away from in ARPGs. You can make it accessible, sure, and you do have it accessible in this game, just that it still takes time. There's still a progression wheel. You don't get everything instantly. It's not, the reward system is not so that it just rains loot down on your sorry ass and you get an entire set. It's still a Diablo game. It's still farm. It's still progression. It's still that iterative old game that we love, that we have come to know over the years. It's just improved. What the hell? Underground? I don't think I went into maggot lair. I went into maggot tunnels. This is underground maze. I've never seen anything like this before. This is the Harlem. Oh shit, Old Warriors. This is like the Harlem thing, but I didn't know this could exist. So evidently we're seeing new side dungeons as well, which is brilliant. Really unexpected, actually. Really awesome. But what was I talking about? Oh yeah, the fact that it's still, I've talked about it before, but I really need to iterate this, that it's still an authentic Diablo game, this. It has the feel, it has the love, the passion, the old things that we want. It just iterates, makes it better, say, you know what, we could improve this with quality of life. It's afterthought, it's wisdom, it's realization. And I can't emphasize that enough. And I'm not trying to make you seem dumb. I'm just trying to explain why I like this game so much. Like, take for example other games. I don't know. An example is um, Dawn of War. I played like hundreds of hours of Dawn of War. Not even multiplayer, just campaign on the hardest. And that was like OCD. It was just repetitive OCD. It wasn't, oh my god, this game is so fun, I can play it forever. It was just OCD, trying to min-max, trying to do the challenge, you know? It was bland fun. It wasn't worth my time, really. But this game, it feels fun. I can imagine doing these runs. I can imagine doing these, like, runs, different builds, different characters, different acts, and I could just have fun with it, you know? And it's just a bonus if people watch that. It's just a bonus if people find that fun or interact with me or, you know, like that content or whatever. That's just a bonus. That's just me knowing then that, hell, I made someone smile at least. I made someone, like, watch this content. And I watch a lot of content myself. I know exactly why you watch. I know that it's important to a lot of people to watch such content. It's important entertainment. It becomes a part of your routine of your day. I have like frequent 5 or 6 Let's Players I always watch. I always watch their content, and some less free, like less solid ones. I may check out their content and then move on based on if they change or not, stuff like that. So yeah, I feel like I need water because I'm talking so bloody much. But anyway, we're just gonna put in vitality here. Um, and to those who are like worried that there's no permanence of your build or your character, you cannot reset stats. Keep that in mind. You cannot reset stats. You can reset your build, but you can't reset your stats. So that's still an interesting thing in my opinion, that they still have kept some form of permanence. Like, it's logical as well, isn't it? Like, sure, a paladin can go to retrain his things, he can go to relearn, like, reiterate or go back and try to reflect on what worked in combat and didn't. But it's not like you can just change your genetics. Holy shit, we're changing to sewers, temple passive. What the fuck is this? Alright, so evidently something that old Diablo never did, and I didn't even notice this before, is that now suddenly we're going through different phases of different dungeons, which seems really, really interesting to me. It just, like, makes it more refreshing. It's like you have to adapt a lot more often. It's more built around the concept of being able to be replayed, you know, and I really love that, because as much as I love Diablo 2, it just always felt like some of the content, some of the things were stale, too iterative, like Halls of the Dead. Like, you would always do the same thing, you would always go through the same dungeons and all, like, that gets to people. Doing the same thing all the bloody time gets to people. No one likes that. That's iterative. That's not iterative. Like, there needs to be something refreshing each time. Like, each time I do these episodes, I don't talk about the same bloody thing. I don't have 5 or 6 or 10 or 20 episodes of me just talking about ghosts. No, you see me talk about different things, and there's a reason for that. It's because I myself wouldn't enjoy just talking about the same bloody thing all the time. And this game understands that. This game understands where the focal points of, like, making different content comes in. And keep in mind, this is Act 2. This is Act 2 in normal. I haven't even gone to, like, see the later content. I've seen some screenshots of it, but I haven't seen it personally in such a way that I can comment on it. And I'm still, like, blown away by the quality of this mod. I am truly impressed. Like, the great ideas. I can't even fathom how much time these people must have put into this to make this bloody game. Like I can't even imagine what they thought, or not imagine what they thought, but like half of these ideas are really good, and I wouldn't even come up with them myself, even if you gave me tons of time. I just wouldn't think like that, you know? I would say that, sure, that's a cool thing, like doing, iterating with different levels, and doing like different side dungeons and stuff like that, but I wouldn't be able to explain it myself because I wouldn't know how to do that, you know? I wouldn't know how to do that. Is that technically possible? Is what I would say. But I mean, now evidently it is because yes, you're seeing it here first. Like it is possible. But I mean, I personally wouldn't think of it. Let's see here. Now we're back in the desert sort of thing. Like I really like this sort of change. It makes you feel. Oh, a new rune, a cool rune. I want to know what that is. Where is it? There. Requires level 7. Maximum damage. Damage taken goes to mana. Alright. So we're getting higher level runes. Awesome. Awesome. We can start. I want to showcase in the future a bit of different rune words. Maybe make a somehow show you guys what different runes there is, because I really think that I can't do just I can't just get all the runes and then show you the words. I want to show you guys what the words are, what you can do with them, because there are some really unique ones. Like really, and crafting as well. Crafting is really unique. I looked up crafting, and crafting is bloody insanely brilliant in this game. It's like you have even these. You have a section of crafting that's called starter gear, that takes low-level materials and creates an item based on magic and stuff, magic items, stuff like that. It just creates an item that's good for low level. Like my current mace is one. The skill increases damage and okay, the damage comes from the rune, but the offensive auras, the paladin skill levels and stuff like that, that's all just from a crafted item. Like that would be unheard of in the normal Diablo 2. Like Diablo 2, it was excessively hard to do crafting. Crafting has now been iterated to be on lower levels to be able to do that more accessibly, and I don't think that's a bad thing at all. Because accessibility in most people's minds are saying like, well, it's casual. No. If you if you if you saw if you saw the bloody Dark Magician's Chamber, which admittedly I did not put up that video, but if you saw 30 fucking mages, I had 400 HP at that point. I had 400 HP, alright? And one bolt did like, I don't know, 50 damage, something like that. And you had 10 bolts flying at you at the same time. And you barely damaged anything. And you were slowed, and there were unravelers, chaos summoners that just kept resurrecting these motherfucking mobs. Like, do you understand what I'm saying? Like, just because the game is accessible doesn't mean it's easy. Doesn't mean I can just face roll this. Like, I had to put thought into this, alright? Now you might say, but oh Derb, you just went holy fire with this. Yeah, but I still came to this conclusion after a while. It wasn't a no-brainer of, you know, I'll just put this here and see what happens. It was like, I thought about it, and I tried Zeal, and I tried Vengeance, and I thought, you know what? I think that this can be better built with different stuff. And it paid off. It won't pay off later off. This isn't a build that will work all the way through, and I can tell you that instantly. I can tell you that right now, because then you might wonder, how do you know that? Well, because I played on Hell. I did that before, and because I know that the game only got more difficult, like as the game progressed, and with this mod as well. Then Hell, like if you're gonna do this kind of build, oh, I got a quest here. Huh. So they remade this. Remade the Darkness quest with this. That, I don't know about that. That's cool. We've got fetish guys here. Anyway, what was I talking about? Yeah, I was just saying that this is not going to work later on. All right, this whole build of Holy Fire, just standing here being AFK, winning, will not work later on. Why? Fire immunities. What do you need to beat fire immunities? You need either a Necromancer, if they still have that skill, I don't know if they do, which is lower resist, a curse, or you need something that lowers the enemy's resistances inherently. And I don't know if there exists such a thing for paladins gear-wise and stuff like that. Might be. I can't talk about that with authority. Um, so yeah, it doesn't stay the same that much. And they even iterated this quest differently. Like I didn't even realize that before now. Like they made so that all of a sudden, like, yeah, we can just make the game go
The
differently.
light can never be extinguished
It,
by
it, it
evil.
it's still like the same. Um, it's the same quest,
Blessings to you.
but it's still iterative, you know. And I found that bloody
Hello.
impressive because you saw that, or maybe you're just listening to this in background. So I'm just gonna tell you so. Like you saw that we went through different levels. We went through different setups of different layouts and stuff like that. Not layouts as in this was amazing, this wasn't, but it was just different looks all the time. It was just different builds, different ideas, and at the same time, it also actually I'm gonna equip that all resist is awesome. And that's also all resist. Holy shit, I'm gonna take that. Yeah. I've got some resistances up on this. Now I'm becoming more tanky against elements, which is good because I wasn't before. But what was I saying? Lost track there. Oh yeah, that they iterate the quests. They made the quest different. And how did they do that? They made so that you go through different environments and you still end up with the same quest. I didn't expect
I've
that.
been researching.
That's cool. And what if it's randomized? I'm not even skeptical about that. What if it is randomized? You know? Think about that for a second. What if it is randomized in such a way so that when you do it, it becomes different each time. You get to go through a different level. Question is, why do I still have that quest? Hmm, that's strange. But that just adds so much to the gameplay, in my
Good
opinion.
day.
That just adds so much possibility to the game, and it seems to be such a brilliant idea from the makers of this. It's just extremely brilliant, in my opinion. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna cut it short here. I'm gonna do just cut just to make it more digestible, you know, episodes that you can watch in your leisurely time. I don't want to have 1 hour episodes. Um, yeah, thank you very much, guys, for watching. If you like my content, feel free to comment, rate, and subscribe. Feel free to hit me up, talk, give me feedback, whatever you want. I'm open for suggestions, ideas. Just talking with you guys. You guys are awesome. Thank you very much, and I'll see you guys next time.